A great community consists of people with all types of abilities and talents. Vital communities have learned to work together and recognize that everyone has something to contribute. Helena, Montana is a place that strives to include all people, embracing our differences so we may all prosper. For over 40 years, Helena Industries has been part of the Helena community and the greater area. Helena Industries is a nonprofit dedicated to ensuring people with disabilities have opportunities to use their abilities and meet their personal career goals by securing and sustaining meaningful employment. Whether at one of their 7 businesses, at their vocational campus or local thrift store, or with local employers through the Community Placement Program, Helena Industries provides vocational and rehabilitative opportunities to empower people with disabilities. The organization operates under the fundamental belief that everyone has abilities and talents, and sometimes all we need is a place to shine. In this series, produced by Helena Civic Television, you will get to meet the individuals of Helena Industries, learn about who they are, their interests, and how they share their abilities and passions to benefit our community.
My name's James Bernard Casey Jr. My sports name is Berno Inferno 00. I like to work with sporting events all over the world. It's one of my goals.
Bernie was born and raised in East Helena, Montana. His father ran Casey Lumber, and his mother owned and operated the East Helena Heritage IGA grocery store. When Bernie was 7 years old, he was hit in the head with a pitchfork, which left him with a lifelong head injury. But that has not stopped him from knowing what he loves and pursuing his dreams, which is sports and working with sports teams.
First job I ever had in sporting event was Bozeman High School, football manager. And I went from there to the MSU football and then MSU basketball. And then when the Ice Dogs they built a brand new hockey rink. We had to come to Helena every day because our rink wasn't built. And then when it was finally done, I got a job with the Bozeman Ice Dogs. We played the Helena team all the time. And then when I left, they were building a brand new hockey rink in Bozeman. So there'd be 2 rinks. Like in Missoula, there's 2 rinks, and there's a rink up in Great Falls. And I learned a lot about sports. I'm a sports nut. And then when I was in Missoula, I met a lot of people that are handicapped in Missoula. Then when you work for Helena Industries, you got to have some kind of a disability. When I first started at Helena Industries, I was working in a wood shop, and I hurt my shoulder, and I was in the mail room on this side. I did some paperwork, and I was working for Helena Industries, and then we moved to Bozeman in '86, and I was working for Reach Incorporated. And Reach Incorporated and Helena Industries is real similar. They hire a lot of handicapped people. People that are disabled come to Helena Industries if there's an opening. There's an opening at where I live at Waukesha. And then when I lived in Bozeman, I moved 6 times and then I used to live up in Kalispell, Montana. I lived in a tea house up in Kalispell. And then there was not much going on in Kalispell, so I moved back to Helena, and I lived at Stewart Home, and I was driving a car at that time. I just learned about a lot of sports, about a lot of the athletes, and then when I was equipment manager, I used to watch them tape their ankles and stuff like in the training room. And Mark Meredith, he does all the sports in Bozeman, Montana. And then he showed me how to do the water and ice and stuff before the game, like before the football game started. He showed me how to get ice on the sideline and also how to get oranges and Gatorade at halftime for the football games. And then when I worked for MSU football, I did the same thing. We had water bottles, and then I had a clock on me. My very first boss I ever had was Mike Kramer. He's at Idaho State now, and he showed me how to. And then when I worked for basketball, when there's a medium time route, I grabbed a chair that while I was sitting down, and then I sat down in front of the coaches. Coaches had their equipment in. And when I worked for the Ice Dogs, they showed me how to do the stick, the right stick, left stick, the Comfort Inn in Bozeman, Montana. We rented some rooms till we got our rink done. And then when the rink was done, my job was taking care of all the equipment and watching all the units. And then I had a little radio with me so I could listen to the game. And everybody knows me. If you read that article about me in Bozeman, Montana, and an article about Missoula, about Special Olympics, this is my article they did in Bozeman, Montana. This is halftime. I didn't even know they were doing a picture on me. And it was halftime, and they did this on a chronicle back in 2/8/010 is when these came out, 2/28/010. Then the one in Missoula, this is the article they did on me in Missoula. May 2016, this is the article they did on me in Missoula. These are the AA kids, the blue team, that's me right there. These are the AA kids. These are kids that have a lot of experience, the older kids. Kids are 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. So when they're 19, they go play college baseball somewhere. And these are younger. These are 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. These are the A team. These are called the Bucks, AA. And then these are called the Spikes. These are called the Bucks. The Bucks are 13, 14, and 15. The Bucks are 16, 17, 18. And then I got a job with the Helena Phillies, the old scoreboard at Legion Field here in Helena, Montana. And a lot of the guys play college baseball, college World Series. And when they get drafted, they come to Montana. It's a lower level called the Rookie League, A, AA, AAA, and the majors. And then Legion baseball, it's all high school kids, and high school kids play Legion baseball, but they got to raise their own money to play Legion baseball because we're not sanctioned like in high school sports. You get help from the high school, so you don't have. And high school kids have to have a physical first before they can get in their equipment. But the Bucks and the Spikes, they raise money. They have a coupon book, and then in the field in Bozeman, same way in Helena, they have advertisements on the fence, like the old fence in Helena. And then when I was a little kid, we had a ball field called East Helena Smellerites. Personally, I know Charlie Pride. My older brother, Charlie Pride, played for the East Helena Smellerites in East Helena, Montana. And then when I was a kid, we used to go on because Missoula had a team, Helena had a team, Missoula had a team, and then in the Pioneer League, there's teams in Helena, Missoula, Kalispell, Butte. Pioneer is called the Pioneer League, and basically, I'm a sports nut, and I read that article. My mind's like a computer. I can remember stuff way back when I was a little kid. With my head injury, I can remember stuff. My brain's like a computer.
Bernie worked at Helena Industries in the 70s and 80s. He then moved to Bozeman in 1986. For the next 3 decades, Bernie could be found at a wide variety of sporting events. He would even help out with teams and coaches during his time there. He has since moved back to Helena and works for Helena Industries again.
Right now I work across the street in the mailroom. Like when we do envelopes, we put envelopes in the envelope, then we flip them, and we have a tray like this. If you do 10 envelopes, you get paid for 10 envelopes. So if you do 100, you get paid for 100. So if you do 200 envelopes, you get done for 200 envelopes. That's basically what we do. We do a lot of mailing. We do over here mailing, and then bring it over, and then put stamps on the mailroom, and then hand it off to the post office. We have a stamp machine and a sealing machine. We have a sealing machine and a stamp machine. I'll show you what I do for a living here. This is a thing we do 10 things here, 10 things. And then we put envelopes. When we're all done, we put envelopes here. We put 10, 10, 10, 10. And on our card, you put 10 down. Then you put 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and you put another 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So if you do 100 of these all day long, you get paid for 100. And then if you only do a few, because there's a lot of clients that are slow at it. Me, I do it real fast. So you put 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And you put 10 on your timesheet. And over here, we have a seal machine. Over here, this lady go over here, and then they seal them. Book, and they have a seal, and they have a sealing machine. They do a sealing machine over here. And this is what they seal them on. This is what they seal them on, like this, seal them. And then when the books come in, they seal them on that. machine. They seal them like this, put the books in, they seal them. These are one of the magazines that I used to do in Bozeman. I used to work with Helena Bozeman Chamber of Commerce at a rest area. So when they come to the rest area, I tell them there's books on both sides, bathroom on both sides, the rest area in Bozeman. And then if you walk around the the rest area, there's picnic tables. And then I worked a lot of years, and then everybody has their own table where they're sitting. And then we do a lot of mailing, and we have mailing go all over the United States. And then we have mailing come across the street. And then over here, over on this machine, they seal them. They seal them on this machine. And then over here, they put stamps on them. In this machine, they take stamps. A lot of it's from all the different contracts. Some of the contracts I work with, Montana AAA is one of our contracts. Legion, American Legion is one of our contracts. AAA is one of our contracts. State of Montana is one of our contracts. Like on the back of this, back of the book, outline, state of Montana about the governor, like books. And over here, we get a lot of this stuff from the post office, and they do different things. They put them in different things, labels and stuff, or books and stuff, and then put them, like all our stuff, envelopes or letters and stuff. They put them in here, and then they grab them like this, and then hand them out, and then they take them to the post office, and then they put slots in them like this, and they're all wrapped up, and then the staff checks them, and they put them in like that, checks them and stuff.
Bernie can still be found at sporting events or talking about national sports teams and athletes. He reads the paper daily and always has a positive attitude. In his 60s, he is still pursuing his goals by utilizing his amazing sports knowledge and interest.
I'm a sports nut. My goal is I like to work for a professional baseball, professional hockey, or professional football team. That's my goal in life. I'm 64 years old. I'm about ready to retire, but not from sports.